As you enter the space between wakefulness and the vast unknown of sleep, the body surrenders and the mind begins to slip beyond the constraints of linear time. In this sacred stillness, the veil between the conscious and the subconscious dissolves. What you believe is no longer bound by memory or expectation. The past no longer defines you, and the future becomes malleable, shaped not by habit but by intention. You are no longer your name, your past, your pain, or your story. You are awareness itself, an infinite point of consciousness in a limitless sea of energy. And here, in this rich void of potential, lies the key to all transformation. When you fall into the rhythms of deep sleep guided by elevated intention, your body enters the realm of healing and regeneration. The nervous system relaxes, the immune system strengthens, and the chemistry of survival begins to dissolve into the alchemy of creation. Your heart, when filled with gratitude, coherence, and love, sends out a signal into the field, a signal so coherent and powerful that it draws to you experiences and realities that match that frequency. In this space, the brain no longer operates as a servant of the past. Instead, it becomes a mirror of the future, a future emotionally rehearsed with such sincerity and devotion that it becomes inevitable. As you let go of who you have been, the programs that once defined your identity, fear, doubt, guilt, unworthiness, begin to fall away. And in their place, something ancient and divine awakens within you, a remembering, a knowing, that you were never separate from the source that creates worlds, that the intelligence that beats your heart, digests your food, and orchestrates galaxies lives within you, and waits patiently for your surrender. As you drift deeper into the quantum, your consciousness touches the fabric of a reality where time does not exist, and healing happens not through effort, but through presence. Here your intention is a command, your elevated emotion is a magnet, and your willingness to let go becomes the catalyst for change. You are not healing through force, you are healing through alignment. You are not forcing the body to recover, you are simply creating the conditions where it has no choice but to thrive. Let go of control. Let go of outcomes. Let go of needing to know. Instead, feel. Feel wholeness as if it already lives in your cells. Feel freedom as if your past has already dissolved. Feel joy, not because something happened, but because you finally remembered who you truly are. And in this place of deep surrender, the universe responds, not with randomness, but with precision, matching your new vibration with new realities. The brain rewires, the heart opens, the body restores, the soul expands, and you awaken, not from sleep, but from limitation. The journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about shedding everything that is not truly you, so that the eternal part of you, the part connected to all of life, can finally shine through. Sleep now, not as someone escaping life, but as someone returning to the origin of all creation. There exists an invisible realm beyond the senses, where everything you could ever become or experience already exists as a potential. This is the quantum field, a vast energetic sea of infinite possibilities, unbound by time or space. It is not separate from you. In fact, you are immersed in it, woven into its frequencies with every breath. When you think a thought, feel an emotion, or hold an intention, you are interacting with this field, sending signals into it and receiving responses from it. But only in the right state of being can you truly access it. When your brain and heart enter coherence, and your body is relaxed and no longer anchored to survival emotions like fear or doubt, the door to the field begins to open. In this state, you're no longer identified with the physical, material world, but instead you're operating from the energy of pure consciousness. The moment you focus not on what is, but on what could be, truly feeling the future before it arrives, you collapse infinite waves of probability into a single particle of reality. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. So when you bring elevated emotions like gratitude and love into alignment with clear mental intention, you send a coherent signal into the field. And it responds not randomly, but intelligently, mirroring back to you opportunities, synchronicities, and experiences that match your new frequency. This is not wishful thinking. It's rewiring your biology to align with a new destiny. The more consistently you return to the field, the more familiar you become with the unknown, and the less power the known has over you. You begin living as a creator, not a victim of your reality. The subconscious mind governs over 90% of who we are. Our habits, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, and even our physical responses. Unlike the conscious mind, which analyzes, judges, and thinks in linear time, the subconscious operates beneath the surface, storing everything from childhood experiences to deep-seated traumas. During waking life, this subconscious programming runs automatically, often without our awareness. Often without our awareness. But in the quiet depth of sleep, especially during deep theta and delta brainwave states, the subconscious becomes highly impressionable, like fertile soil ready for new seeds. This is the ideal window to initiate true change. When you enter a deep meditative state before or during sleep, you bypass the critical filter of the analytical mind. This allows new thoughts, new emotions, and new beliefs to penetrate directly into the subconscious. You are no longer operating from logic. You are speaking directly to the body, which is the unconscious mind. By embedding elevated emotions like peace, worthiness, and joy into your meditation, you imprint a new energetic signature into your system. And as the body sleeps, it begins to memorize this new state as its new baseline. Over time, the old programs of unworthiness, fear, and lack are overwritten, not by force, but by repetition and presence. This is where deep healing occurs, not just mentally, but physiologically. The body responds to the signals of the mind, and if the mind is saturated with coherent intention during sleep, the body begins to reflect that change. Morning after morning, you awaken not just rested, but recalibrated. Your reactions shift, your thoughts evolve, your emotional baseline rises. And you are no longer repeating the past, you are rehearsing the future. In this nightly ritual, your subconscious becomes your greatest ally in manifesting the life your conscious mind dreams about. The heart and brain are not separate entities functioning in isolation. They are part of one sophisticated bioelectrical system that governs not just your physical health, but your emotional and energetic frequency. The brain is electrical. It sends out signals into the field. The heart is magnetic. It draws experiences back to you. When these two centers are out of sync, when the brain is consumed by worry and the heart is closed by fear, the energy you emit is incoherent, disordered, and weak. But when the heart and brain become aligned, something extraordinary happens. You enter a state of coherence. This is not just a feeling, it's a measurable state in which your heart rhythm becomes harmonious and your brainwaves settle into a balanced, synchronized pattern. In this state, you shift from survival into creation. Stress chemistry diminishes, healing hormones rise, and the signal you broadcast into the field becomes clearer, stronger, and more powerful. Coherence is the language of the universe. When you feel gratitude, love, or compassion, not as a reaction to life, but as a choice, you enter this state of harmony. The body interprets this coherence as safety and begins to repair, regenerate, and restore. The heart emits a powerful electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body, influencing not only your own biology, but the environment around you. In meditation, when you combine an elevated emotion in the heart with a clear intention in the mind, you create a new signature in the field, one that the quantum responds to. Healing, synchronicity, and manifestation are not accidents. They are side effects of coherence. The more often you practice this internal alignment, the more your external world begins to reflect that order. Coherence is not just a tool, it's the foundation of transformation. Who you have been, your identity, your personality, your habits, your emotional patterns, has created the life you currently live. If you wake up every day thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, and feeling the same emotions, you are continuously signaling the same genes in the same way and reinforcing the same reality. True transformation requires stepping out of the known. And the known is everything familiar. Your past experiences, your stories, your environment, even your body. Letting go of the known self means surrendering the need to be the person who is defined by the past. It means entering the unknown, the void, the place where all possibilities exist but none are yet chosen. The ego resists this deeply because it thrives on identity. But in meditation, especially in the quiet descent into sleep, the ego begins to dissolve. The body becomes still, the mind slows, and the doorway to the unknown opens. Here you begin to separate from your identity, not to become nothing, but to become no one, nowhere, in no time. This is the threshold of the quantum. Only by becoming no one can you become anyone. In this space, you're no longer bound by the habitual self. You are free to choose again. You are free to create. The longer you rest in this space, the more the old self fades, and the more room there is for the new self to emerge. You are not your emotions. You are not your story. You are consciousness having an experience, and when you stop identifying with what has been, you make space for what could be. This is not escapism. It is liberation. It is the art of consciously shedding layers of limitation so that the soul underneath can breathe freely and shine brightly. Emotions are energy in motion, and each carries its own frequency. Low vibration emotions like fear, anger, and guilt signal survival, and when they dominate, they lock the body into a state of defense. Healing becomes impossible in this chemical environment because the body believes it's under threat. But when you generate elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, freedom, wholeness, you change the chemical makeup of your internal world. These elevated states send signals of safety and growth. The immune system is enhanced, inflammation decreases, the heart opens, and most importantly, your energy shifts. In the quantum field, where all possibilities exist like attracts like, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You attract what you. So if you can generate a feeling of abundance before the money arrives, or love before the relationship shows up, or wholeness before the healing is visible, you begin to draw those experiences to you. The body doesn't know the difference between an emotion created by experience and one created by intention. So when you feel deeply grateful in meditation, your body believes the event has already occurred. This is the essence of healing. Ing. Not waiting for the outer world to change how you feel, but changing how you feel to transform the outer world. Elevated emotions are not just pleasant, they are the signal that rewires the nervous system and recalibrates your destiny. They act like tuning forks, aligning your inner world with the higher frequencies of the field. Over time, this consistent emotional practice becomes memorized by the body. It becomes your new baseline. You wake up lighter. You respond to life differently. You emit a new signal into the field, and life begins to organize itself around your elevated vibration. Healing is not a miracle. It's a change in energy. There is a greater intelligence that animates all life, from the beat of your heart to the birth of stars. It operates in perfect order with precision, balance, and unity. This intelligence is not outside of you. It lives within you, breathing you, guiding you, unfolding through you. Yet most of the time we attempt to control life with our limited understanding, striving, forcing, analyzing, and worrying. True transformation happens when you surrender this control and trust the deeper order of the universe. Surrender is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of power. It says, I trust that something greater than me knows the way. In meditation, surrender means letting go of the need to figure it all out. It means no longer trying to create from the same mind that created the problem. It means stepping into the unknown with faith. When you surrender during sleep or deep meditation, you shift from doing to being. You move from the beta waves of active thought into the delta waves of deep restoration. Here the body relaxes and the conscious mind dissolves. This creates the space for the universal intelligence to begin its work. It heals the body, it rewires the brain, it resolves what the ego cannot. Your job is not to direct the process, but to get out of the way, to feel your way into alignment, to trust in the timing, and to allow the mystery to unfold. The universe always responds, not to your demands, but to your vibration. So when you surrender with a coherent heart, an elevated emotion, and a pure intention, you become magnetic to the very outcomes you once tried to chase. Surrender isn't giving up. It's tuning in to something wiser, gentler, and infinitely more intelligent than the mind. The thoughts you think and the emotions you feel form the blueprint of your neural architecture. Every time you react the same way to a situation, you strengthen the same neural pathways. Over time, these become hardwired patterns that run automatically, shaping your perceptions and behaviors. But you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And the moment you become the observer, truly witnessing your mind without judgment, you interrupt the program. In meditation, particularly in the threshold of sleep, this observing self becomes more accessible. You're no longer entangled with the chatter of the thinking mind. You can see the fear, the doubt, the judgment, not as truth but as old code. And with enough awareness, you create space between stimulus and response. This space is where choice lives. When you observe without reacting, you disempower the neural circuit. You stop feeding it energy. Over time, the circuit weakens, and the brain begins to prune away connections that no longer serve your evolution. But it doesn't stop there. In that same space, you can introduce new thoughts aligned with love, possibility, and wholeness. And when paired with elevated emotion, these thoughts become the architecture of a new mind. You are no longer living in the programs of the past. You are installing the software of the future. The more consistently you practice this observation, the more you step into the role of the creator rather than the reactor. Your brain begins to rewire itself automatically, and your identity begins to shift. You no longer say, "I am anxious." You say, "I notice anxiety, and I choose peace." That simple shift in perception changes everything. You are not here to be controlled by the mind. You are here to master it, and in doing so, transform your reality.